In the 2025 Ballon d'Or ceremony,
Dembele.
with the massive applaud, he steps onto the stage. But instead of the award speech, he starts to shed tears.
Jusqu'à la fin, on sera ensemble.
What would be the story behind his tears? In Dembele's career, there were series of ups and downs and shocking events that would surprise you. Born in May 1997 in Vernon, a town in the Normandy region of France, his world was initially confined to the concrete courtyards of the Les Valmous neighborhood. This was an environment where football was a daily religion, an escape from the socio-economic pressures that weighed heavily on immigrant families. His mother, Fatiouata, who possessed Senegalese and Mauritanian heritage, raised him with a fierce, protective discipline, yet she could never pry the ball away from his feet. By the time he joined the local club ALM Evro at the age of 6, the coaches immediately recognized something entirely abnormal. When a youth coach, Ahmed Wabi, first watched the young boy kicking a ball around the neighborhood, he noticed the boy seemed to possess absolutely no preference for either foot. While most children spend years painstakingly developing their weak foot to a barely possible standard, Ousmane treated both of his feet as entirely equal weapons. Though clubs like Le Havre and Paris Saint-Germain expressed intense interest, the young prodigy ultimately packed his bags at the age of 13 to join the highly prestigious youth academy of Stade Rennais, a decision that would rapidly accelerate his path to global stardom. Making his senior debut during the 2015 to 2016 season, the skinny, incredibly fast teenager completely dismantled the defensive structures of League One. He played with a fearless, arrogant joy, utterly unbothered by the reputations of the veteran defenders tasked with stopping him. The statistics from his debut season remain impressive for a player of his age: 26 league appearances, 12 goals, and 5 assists. Michael Silvestre, the sporting director of Rennes at the time, publicly stated that watching Dembele was like watching a young Cristiano Ronaldo arrive at Manchester United. The combination of raw pace, elite ball striking, and unshakable confidence rightfully earned him the league's Young Player of the Year award. Having completely outgrown his boyhood club in just a single season, the inevitable transfer to a European giant materialized in the summer of 2016. Borussia Dortmund, a club heavily celebrated for its brilliant identification and development of elite young talent, secured his signature. The move to Germany placed him under the intense, deeply analytical head coach Thomas Tuchel. If the streets of Evro gave Dembele his flair and Rennes gave him his confidence, Thomas Tuchel gave him his tactical education. The German manager recognized that trying to confine the young Frenchman to a rigid system would destroy his greatest attributes. Instead, Tuchel built an offensive framework that allowed Dembele the freedom to float across the attacking line, isolating fullbacks in one-on-one scenarios where he was statistically lethal. The results in the Bundesliga were spectacular. Dembele provided a staggering 21 assists across 49 appearances in all competitions, adding 10 goals of his own. He was the undisputed creative engine of the team, forging a deadly connection with striker Aubameyang. He tormented defenses in the Champions League, leaving seasoned veterans twisted and breathless. By the end of his first year in Germany, he had firmly established himself as the most highly coveted young forward on the planet, possessing a ceiling that seemed entirely limitless. However, the footballing world was about to experience a massive financial earthquake, and Dembele would find himself situated directly at the center of attention. In the summer of 2017, Paris Saint-Germain triggered a huge release clause of Brazilian superstar Neymar, stripping Barcelona of their crown jewel and leaving the Catalan giant flush with an unprecedented amount of cash, but utterly desperate for a replacement. Barcelona immediately identified Dembele as the only player in world football with the necessary flair, youth, and potential to fill the massive void left on the left wing. Barcelona signed him in the summer of 2017. Yet, almost from the exact moment he set foot on the grass of Camp Nou, a terrible, agonizing nightmare began to unfold. Dembele arrived in Spain carrying the weight of a monumental transfer fee, the crushing expectation of replacing a global icon, and the physical toll of a completely disrupted preseason. In his very first league start against Getafe, merely days into his Barcelona career, he suffered a catastrophic rupture of his hamstring. This brutal injury completely derailed his adaptation to a highly complex tactical system and set the stage for a tragic cycle of physical breakdowns. For the next 6 years, the narrative surrounding Osumane Dembele shifted violently from his magical abilities on the pitch to his agonizing fragility off it. The medical reports released by the club became a deeply depressing routine. In 2018, he suffered severe muscle tears. In 2019, he sustained multiple hamstring ruptures and ankle sprains. In 2021, the trauma shifted to his pubic bone and knee ligaments. By 2023, the hamstring issues had returned to haunt him once again. Across a 6-year period during what should have been the absolute prime developmental phase of his athletic career, he suffered over 15 separate injuries, spending roughly 700 days trapped in the rehabilitation room. Reports constantly leaked from the club detailing a player's lack of professionalism. He was frequently late to team meetings and morning training sessions, reportedly staying awake until the early hours of the morning, engaging in intense video game sessions with his friends. His dietary habits were heavily criticized, with rumors circulating of an obsession with fast food that completely undermined his body's ability to recover from elite physical form. Despite the endless controversies and the agonizing stretches on the treatment table, whenever Dembele actually managed to stay fit for consecutive weeks, he delivered terrifying reminders of his absolute genius. To truly appreciate his value, one must delve into his unique biomechanics of his unique playstyle. Most professional footballers, even the absolute best in the world, have a heavily dominant foot. Defenders are rigorously trained to force an attacker onto their weaker side, narrowing the angles and limiting their options. Defending Dembele is a completely different, entirely terrifying psychological experience because there is no weak side to force him onto. This devastating ability allowed him to maintain a crucial role within the French national team setup, even amidst his domestic struggles. He was selected for the squad that traveled to Russia for the 2018 World Cup, though he was heavily overshadowed by the explosive emergence of Kylian Mbappe and the tactical brilliance of Antoine Griezmann. The 21-year-old Dembele gained invaluable experience and lifted the most prestigious trophy in global sports. Recognizing that his time in Barcelona had reached its natural, exhaustive conclusion, Dembele secured a transfer back to his homeland in the summer of 2023, joining Paris Saint-Germain. Arriving in the French capital, ironically tasked with replacing Neymar for a second time in his career, he fundamentally completely altered his approach to his profession. He underwent a highly specialized, highly successful surgical procedure to permanently resolve the scar tissue in his hamstrings. More importantly, he completely revolutionized his off-pitch habits. He hired personal chefs, completely overhauled his sleep schedule, and embraced the intense ascetic dedication required to maintain an elite athletic physique. Reunited with manager Luis Enrique, who deeply understood his tactical value from their shared connections to the Spanish style of play, Dembele transformed from a fragile, isolated winger into a robust, deeply intelligent creative hub. Dembele brilliantly absorbed the immense offensive responsibility. He began dropping deeper into the midfield, operating frequently as a highly fluid false nine. Instead of merely waiting on the touchline for the ball, he actively dictated the tempo of the game, utilizing his elite vision and two-footed passing to dismantle low defensive blocks. He developed a relentless defensive work rate, constantly pressing opposition center backs and tracking back to support his fullbacks, proving to the world that his mentality had finally caught up to his physical gifts. In 2024-2025 season, his dedication and hard work paid off. In the Champions League, he made 15 appearances, scoring 8 goals and 6 assists. He helped PSG win the Champions League for the first time in the history, which is something that even Zlatan, Neymar, and Mbappe failed to do. Luis Enrique complimented him, saying that his humble attitude as a captain made all the difference in the pitch, allowing his team to press forward with him. In that season, PSG ended up winning the treble, which allowed Dembele to win the mighty Ballon d'Or. During the award ceremony, he soaked in tears and thanked his mother and agent for believing in him and staying with him at difficult times. Dembele's story is a deeply human narrative about the immense, crushing weight of early expectations, the agonizing reality of physical fragility, and the incredible mental fortitude required to completely rebuild a shattered career. He walked through the absolute fires of intense public criticism and relentless physical pain, emerging on the other side not as a fragile piece of glass, but as a hardened, brilliant diamond. From Neymar's replacement to a Ballon d'Or winner, He stands today as a living testament to the power of resilience, remaining the most brilliantly unpredictable, thrillingly chaotic, and perfectly balanced footballer of his generation. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It helps me immensely to prepare for the next quality content. Thank you always for your support.
True.